Hello and welcome. Thank you for watching. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and hit a like on this video if you like it. If you dislike it, hit dislike. You can also follow me on Facebook at the Universal Life Church of Massachusetts. Today I want to talk about thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers, and does prayer work? And there are going to be people on both sides of this issue, and this video is going to either make both sides happy or make both sides upset, because the answer about prayers and do they work, thoughts and prayers, because they're kind of the same thing, is yes and no. Prayer can work if it's done right, but most people do it wrong, so no. So we got to get into what is prayer. We got to break it down, because it's deep in religions, this prayer. And if understood, it can help you with things in life, but most people are praying to an imaginary person in the sky to give them self-serving wishes. And we know for a fact that doesn't work, because if it did work, everyone would be a millionaire. So it doesn't work. Just because you pray 100 times that it doesn't rain tomorrow, and one day it doesn't rain, doesn't mean it works. So things happen, and we can make relations to them as being caused by a prayer or not, but until you know the scientific reasoning behind it, it has to make sense. Science and spirituality work together, and we have to look at it clearly. So what is a prayer? A prayer is like a mantra. In other religions, a mantra and a prayer, they work the same way. And how a prayer does work, when it does work, is you are not praying to an imaginary being up in the sky. Because, let me point out, if you're praying to something outside of yourself to help you, you're making yourself a victim. And people that do that are living with victim mentality, which is dangerous, because it can cause deep depression and cause you to not fix the problems in your life, because you're saying they're not my problems. They're the problems of this invisible man in the sky. He fixes them, not me. Only he can fix them. I have no power to fix anything. I'm a victim. That's what that kind of prayer does, and it's not healthy for you. It creates a lot of suffering, actually. But real prayer is praying to yourself, to the God within you, to give you strength to get through a certain situation, to have the wisdom to figure out a certain problem. And this works because, like a mantra is a sentence or a sound that you repeat over and over again to keep it at the front of the mind. A sound can clear your mind in a mantra, but a sentence or a sound or a confirmation of a saying that you want in the front of your mind, and you say it over and over throughout the day to keep those thoughts in the front of your mind, because the things you think about throughout the day are who you become. If you think about your work all day long, that's what you're doing, that's what you've become. If you think about your art all day long, whatever art that is, That's what you become. You are what you think about on a daily basis. So you bring this mantra to the front of the mind on a daily basis, you can change. It's just like tying a string around your finger so you don't forget something. The string is a reminder to keep an idea to the front of the mind so that you can change. And remember, it's something that you have to do. So, when we understand what prayer is, in that sense, you can see that it does work. People use it all the time. But they don't realize that it's prayer. I mean, a mantra and prayer are pretty much the same thing. And they're used in society and they work. Now, how can prayer work when someone is sick somewhere else and it's not you, and you pray for them? If you are praying for them with empty thoughts and prayers, and you say, oh yeah, I hope it gets better, thoughts and prayers, and you walk away, you're not doing a damn thing for them. You're not helping them at all. But if it is sincere, and they know it's sincere, it does help them. And how does that work? Well, you have to imagine like a child at a recital, and his parents are not there, and there's nobody out there to play for. He might not be too enthusiastic. But if his parents are there, well, now he wants to play for them at this recital. And if his whole family and uncles and aunts and everybody's there, well, now he's excited to show them what he can do. Or he could be nervous. But the idea here is that the other people being there is an influence on him. That's how these prayers work. Because when you've got people rooting for you, you try harder. Understand? So in that sense, prayers do work. We know it. It's obvious. Almost common sense. But people don't call them prayers. They think it's this imaginary being in the sky. It's been lost over time. It's been confused because people living with victim mentality. And there's a lot of them. Like the last video that I did on the Gillette commercial controversy, there's a lot of people living with toxic masculinity, so much that people think it's normal. It's not normal. It's a society. It's like so many people living with materialism. It's not healthy for you. It creates depression and mental health problems. But so many people are, they just assume that it's just a normal way of life because they don't know any better. But it doesn't have to be that way. This is a time we're looking at all these things again and reevaluating what's true and what's not, what's scientifically based and proven and what isn't. And then reevaluating and rethinking through. So here we have two ways to pray, and one is effective and one isn't. So maybe the one that isn't effective is not actually praying at all, but just wishful thinking and hoping and praying because you live as a victim and you just need somebody to help you. But it goes deeper than that, because human beings have a desire not to be alone. They need a feeling of something bigger than them. Security. Now, I'm not saying that these feelings are correct or they're incorrect, but they're there. And when you don't understand what God is, it can make you feel like there is no God, that there is nothing bigger than me. You know, it is what there's only what there is around me. There's me, and then there's everybody else, and we're not connected in any way, and the universe is separate from me. Make you feel alone and small. But when you understand that there is a thing called God, and it's a quality within you, and an energy that that quality links up to. God is light, God is good. These are two things that the Bible and other religious texts say over and over. Enlightenment, to bring the light into your body, the illuminated ones. All terms about light and good, a quality. The light side and the dark side. Light has always been linked to good. Dark has always been linked to bad. That's just, you know, the way it is in this dualistic world. And to understand what God is inside of us, this light, this energy, this spark that keeps us alive, that pumps our heart, and what that is connected to, where did that come from? You have a little nuclear reactor inside of you that is connected to the source that exploded millions of years ago. That light has been traveling through the galaxy and carries with it in all kinds of information, which creates all kinds of particles, which create atoms, which stick together to make planets, which make you. You're part of it, and you're connected to it, and it's good. That's what keeps us moving forward. We live in a dualistic world, so there's also good and evil. There's light and dark, and they both exist within you. That may not be a pleasant thing to think about, but it's true. And that's something we'll talk about another time to understand better. Another thing I want to talk about these thoughts and prayers, because understanding what a mantra is and how it works by keeping thoughts to the front of your mind, just similar to like a thread on your finger. Prayers work the same way, keeping ideas to the front of your mind so that you accomplish those ideas, as well as giving prayers to somebody else gives them encouragement, which is beneficial to them. These do work, and they're all good. They can be good. Some people will pray for bad things, to do bad things. So prayers can be bad too. But I would suggest that someone that does that is going down the wrong path, is going to cause themselves a lot of suffering. Another thing about people out there that are preaching to pray to an imaginary being in the sky. These are fake preachers that just don't know what the truth. And they're trying to exploit and make victims of their parish so that they will come in and seek to them for help. And then put money in the till. It is selfish. We see a lot of these preachers and pastors down south that have multi-million-dollar homes in these mega churches, and they're telling their parish, their congregation to give them money, and they won't go to hell, basically. And that doesn't help the people in their congregation. It hurts them, makes them victims, and makes them unable to solve their problems because they think their problems are going to be solved by him. There are also fake gurus out there teaching spirituality, and if they want money from you in any way, then they're not in this. I don't ask for money from anybody. That's not my... I'm here to share with my fellow human beings ideas that I have to help us all. Because if I help you, I help myself. I don't need anything else. And there are also, so there are fake gurus and there are fake mystics out there. If someone is practicing magic and spells and all these things, you got to be very careful. Shamans, on the other hand, there are fake shamans. There's good and bad in everybody. There's ignorance and wisdom in everyone and in everything. And that can be gurus, mystics, preachers. And what I say is listen, but don't believe anything anyone says, including me, until it resonates with you and you can understand it. There's nothing wrong with listening to all these other people, but understand that they may not be teaching you things that are beneficial to you. They may be teaching you things that are beneficial to themselves. So that's all I want to talk about for now. I thank you for watching. Thoughts and prayers. Have a great day.